Hello and welcome to Inside Healthcare. We're glad you could be with us. We have a good program for you. We will begin on how to keep yourself safe during the new year. And we're very pleased to have with us Scott Steffan. He's Safety and Security Manager at St. John's Hospital. Thanks, Scott, for being with us.
Yes, thanks for having me.
And you're probably familiar to some of our viewers. Not only have you, in addition to being a self-defense instructor, that you were with 30 years experience with the Maplewood Police, retiring last fall, last summer.
Yeah, actually, end of September I resigned. Correct. Yep.
So, and you've got a couple of self-defense classes, seminars coming up here in the month of January that we'll tell everybody about in just a moment. They're free.
Right.
But first of all, why would we need to be taking self-defense classes? How do we need to keep safe in the new year?
Why would you want to take self-defense classes? The answer would be education is always a great thing to start with anyway. And anytime you can kind of shock yourself out of the getting lulled into this everything's fine and Minnesota nice, and just be a little more aware of your surroundings so you don't give the opportunity to the bad guys to steal your GPS unit or steal your car or break into your house or snatch the purse off your shoulder out of the car to the grocery store. If you can prevent that opportunity, that's the best. That would be your number one goal, is to prevent that from happening. And then not only you yourself, but then educate your friends and relatives the same thing. Crime does happen. We don't exactly know when it's going to happen to you.
Yeah, I know as a reporter, people would often, when you'd interview them, saying, well, they didn't think this happened in our neighborhood or our community, and unaware of it. And you have some statistics talking about some of the crime that people may not be aware of here, right in our own home here.
Yeah, absolutely. I get these, they're what they call a Minnesota crime clock, or statistics that they put together, literally they put together as how many minutes, and then there's a break-in of a car, how many minutes for a break-in of a house, a burglary, how many minutes or how many hours goes by before somebody's murdered. So they kind of compare, as well as they compare some actual traffic statistics too, as well as which one do you think you're going to be more able to be injured on? Is it a victim of a crime, or is it by just driving along in your car?
And the answer is a victim of a crime?
Oh my goodness. Well, you know, we'll take a look at those statistics, and it's depending on which one you really want to look at. How often are people murdered? How often are you injured in a crash? The crashes really outnumber the murders, which is,
absolutely.
It's sorry to say that we have to compare both negative things, but it's, yeah, just more people driving and more people injured in crashes in cars.
I know that you've said that awareness is probably one of the most important things that someone can do to protect themselves and keep themselves safe.
Correct.
Why is that?
You know, just the awareness part. If you look at it as though you have a triangle, when you put together a crime scene, okay, you have to have some victim, you have to have some suspect that's going to be the bad guy and do the crime, and then the bottom part of this triangle is going to be opportunity. So if you can educate everybody and remove that opportunity from existing, so if I don't leave my keys in the ignition, if I don't leave the GPS on my dash, if I don't walk around with, you know, let's say I'm a lady and I walk around with a purse just nonchalantly and hang it, somebody's going to snatch it off my shoulder or leave it in the grocery cart, remove that opportunity.
I know I had mentioned to you that I myself was a victim of crime. A man pulled a knife on me when I was traveling overseas, stole my money. I gave him the money,
right.
You know, and it happened just like that. And you were saying if you eliminate that opportunity, whether you're traveling or whether you're here at home, what are some of those things that you can be doing? You touched on briefly just a minute ago.
Sure. Well, I'd love to say, hey, come take our class. It's free. It is a good class. It's a little hands-on, and we're going to be talking a little bit, but mostly a lot of hands-on stuff and just crime trends and know what you're to be watching for. Yeah. So what should you do is when the ladies say, you know, I'm going to go for a walk around a path in a park, take your phone or take some self-defense measures or take a friend. It's usually safety in numbers, no matter where you go, whether it be walking to and from the mall or out on a bike path or something like that. There's a lot of different little tips along the way.
What would be some of those self-defense things that you can do?
One would be, if I go over this too much, let me know, but I always say just be aware of your surroundings. It truly is. So my wife would say, you know, I'm not going to walk on that pathway because it looks a little overgrown for trees and bushes, and somebody could jump out and grab you, so she just would avoid that. So A, being aware of your surroundings, and B, if you have the options of taking that path or going a different direction, If you don't feel quite safe about doing that, don't go down there. Just don't do that. Or like I say, there's mace, there's other different things that you could purchase and have with you. So if you're, let's say you're a 150-pound female that's walking on a trail, and you've got the bad guys, the male, who outweighs you by about 100 pounds because he's going to be 200 to 250, yeah, you're going to need something to kind of compensate for the difference there. So by having some mace and some other proactive means, whether it be knowing some hands-on things to put up a fight and to get out of there and make as much noise as you can.
Could they in turn use like the mace or the weapon on you then? I mean, could they turn it around and use it on you?
I would say that anything that you have is always a possibility. That's correct. So to make it a fast answer, yes, but most of the time, no, that doesn't happen. So when the bad guy's grabbing you, wants to grab your purse, give him the purse. Or if you're going to put up a fight, then you have this mace and it's ready as handy. You can't have it in your pocket. You can't go, just a second, let me find, which pocket did I put it in? You have to be ready.
I know I'm in a women's walking club. It's with the Healthiest Women's Care program, and we were walking in the evening, and as it got darker and darker, we've now moved it to Saturday mornings, and we actually just moved it indoors, just
great.
for a number of safety reasons and that. So when are these classes and seminars going to be taking place?
I have about 4 of these, and actually this Thursday we're teaching one at the Roseville Community Center for a local high school group, and so I'm anticipating about 35 students at that time. And we've got one later on at the Maplewood Library. That'll be the 25th of this month. So we're going to try to offer these out every other month, and I have about 6 of them going for Health East employees at St. John's Hospital. So we're trying to educate all the nurses and staff and things such as that. So we offer it out, and if they'd love to come, they certainly can. And yeah, it's open to the public. The price is right. It's free.